Hello, football family. Hope you all are doing well. The Super Eagles of Nigeria was in action last night in a round of 16 clash against the Mambas of Mozambique. And the Mozambique was no match for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria crushed the Mambas of Mozambique by 4 goals to nothing. It was a thrilling performance by the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as a brace from Victor Osimhen, a goal from Ademola Lookman, and Akko Adams was just what was needed to sink the Mambas of Mozambique and knock them out of the African Cup of Nations, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria progressed to the quarter-final, where they will face either Algeria or Democratic Republic of Congo. The Super Eagles of Nigeria went into that particular encounter with a diamond setup by the Super Eagles of Nigeria head coach, talking about Eric Shell. The Super Eagles of Nigeria line up in what you can actually describe as a 4-4-2 formation. You can also describe it as a 4-3-1-2 formation, and you can also describe it as a 4-3-3 formation. But it was a 4-3 diamond formation set up by Eric Shell, talking about the Nigerian head coach. And a goal was Stanley Nwabali, the fullback. The left back was Bruno Yemachi. The right back was Osai Bright Samuel. The centre back pairing was Virgil van Dijk, who was in the form of Simi Ajayi, and also Kelvin Bassey, that was definitely rock solid at the back in the form of John Terry. Coming into the midfield pivot, the deep-seated role was taken by the team captain, talking about Wilfred Ndidi, while the left-wing midfielder was Alex Iwobi. The right-wing midfielder was Frank Onyeka. Behind the two attackers up front was Ademola Lookman, while up front the two attackers was Victor Osimhen and Akko Adams. That was how Eric Shell set up the teams in a diamond system that actually went on to crush the Mozambique by 4 goals to nothing. The performance of the Super Eagles last night against the Mambas of Mozambique was actually top-notch. From start to finish, with Super Eagles known for high-pressing kind of football, they dominated the play against the Mambas of Mozambique, not giving them any opportunity. They actually threatened Nwabali, who was in between the stick for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So it was a flawless victory. I call it a flawless victory because if you take a look at the statistics, the Super Eagles of Nigeria had 22 shot attempts at goal, 9 shots on target, 0 shots on target for the Mambas of Mozambique. The Super Eagles of Nigeria had 14 shots inside the box and 8 shots outside the box. 0 shots inside the box for Mozambique and 0 shots outside the box for Mozambique. So you can see from the statistics, it was a flawless victory for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Beautiful performance, beautiful team performance by the players. But then, I can dedicate this video and talk about one man. Alex Iwobi was top-notch. The display of Alex Iwobi last night against the Mambas of Mozambique was class. The passion we saw in Ademola Lookman was just what we saw at the 2023 African Cup of Nations that actually drive the Super Eagles to the final, which we lost to Ivory Coast in front of their own fan. So, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have actually had a wonderful AFCON in Morocco that is actually going their way. And we are seeing that game in, game out, beginning from the games in the group stage. I think the Super Eagles of Nigeria have actually gone to show progress in each and every game they have actually played. Beginning from the first game in the group stage, where they actually take on Tanzania. They defeated Tanzania by 2 goals to 1, despite a poor performance. Men, I think not just me, a lot of fans were actually worried with that performance of the Super Eagles. But then, some said it was just the FIFA, the AFCON fever, and that the Super Eagles were definitely going to get over it. And as matches progresses, they actually did. The second group game was against Tunisia, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria went on to crush high-flying Tunisian by 3 goals to 2 in the group stage. The final match of the group stage in Group C saw Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Uganda by 3 goals to 1. And in each of those games, we saw improvement game in, game out. Despite the rotation, Eric Shell will definitely put in place. Each of the players, Eric Shell actually gave the nod to start. Went on, will go into the pitch, gave 110%, and the Super Eagles will always come out. As usual, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will come out flying. What we saw last night was just what personally I expected to be seen of the Super Eagles. A lot of people will say it's Mozambique. Yes, it's Mozambique. And if we take a look at the ranking, the Super Eagles of Nigeria is ranked 38 in the world of football, while Mozambique is ranked 102 globally in the world. And so, Even though ranking doesn't play football, tactics and performance of the team is what actually did. It actually went on to show in the field of play that ranking-wise, we were more than the members of Mozambique. And also tactics-wise, Eric Schell, it was a masterclass by Eric Schell. And the players went on to execute that game plan flawlessly, giving Super Eagles the ticket to the quarterfinal by defeating Mozambique by 4-0. Individually, we saw brilliance in Ademola Lookman. We saw brilliance in Victor Osimhen. We saw brilliance in Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi, his passes, his vision is top notch. That guy is just a class when it comes to his position as a midfielder. What I saw in Alex Iwobi was a prime Iniesta, and that is just what Alex Iwobi has gone on to become, game in, game out. If we take a look at what actually happened in the last AFCON, I think the final against Ivory Coast, a lot of Nigerians were not being fair to Victor Osimhen. Let me not exclude myself. Even though he had a very hopeful performance, but then I don't think that is how it should be. It's a teamwork, and if Alex Iwobi didn't perform well, it simply means the team also did not actually perform well. So coming into this AFCON, Alex Iwobi came as a different person entirely, beginning from the first match of the AFCON, and he has gone on to show what a kind of player he is. Top-notch midfielder, I must say. His vision, his precision when it comes to passes, they are top-notch. The first 3 goals we scored last night, Alex Iwobi had the pre-assist before the final assist came to the goal scorers. The goal that Ademola Lookman actually scored that gave us the lead. The pass, it was a precise true pass from the midfield to Ako Adams that actually laid a beautiful assist for Ademola Lookman to break the deadlock, and Super Eagles of Nigeria went on to take the lead 1-0. The second goal, the same pre-assist from Alex Iwobi to Ademola Lookman with a beautiful Nasa, and Ademola Lookman beat past the 2 defenders of the members of Mozambique and laid a beautiful pass for Victor Osimhen. It was 2-0 at this point. Half time, the Super Eagles went on to the break. Coming into the break, early in the break, another beautiful pass from Alex Iwobi to Ademola Lookman, who actually slots that again towards the path of Victor Osimhen. And Victor Osimhen got his brace of the night. And 3-0 at this point in time for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And Ako Adams actually laid the final, actually nailed the members of Mozambique with the final strike. A very beautiful hit inside the box that went on to beat the Mozambique goalkeeper. And it was 4-0 at this point in time. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have progressed to the quarterfinal of the ongoing African Cup of Nations with a very beautiful performance. So far, Victor Osimhen have actually come up in the goal scoring chart, also among the top scorers with 3 goals, while Brahim Diaz of Morocco topped the goal scoring chart with 4 goals. And Ademola Lookman has been a star man in this AFCON so far. Goal and assists combined together, Ademola Lookman have had 7 or 8 goal and assists combined together, if I'm not mistaken. He has scored 3 goals and went on to produce 5 assists so far in the competition. So it's beautiful to see that the Super Eagles of Nigeria are actually playing as a team and getting the job done. Prior to the commencement of the AFCON, personally, the video I made before the AFCON commenced, what I said in that video was all about the expectation of the Super Eagles. We have missed out in the Summer 2026 World Cup. And again, the only consolation we can get is just for the Super Eagles of Nigeria to clinch the AFCON trophy. Even though the feelings of winning the AFCON is quite different from the feelings of your nation taking part in the World Cup. But then, participating in the World Cup and not standing a chance to win it, and participating in the AFCON and going on to lift the trophy, which do you prefer? Drop your thoughts down below. Let's have that conversation going. The Super Eagles, we already know, have missed out in the 2026 World Cup. But should the Super Eagles of Nigeria went on to lift the AFCON trophy, does that actually make up for missing out in the World Cup? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's have the conversation from there. So, but then, the high points of the game was the time Victor Osimhen actually flared up. This has actually raised a lot of concern from so many footballing fans. And I was having a conversation with a friend on this Victor Osimhen issue, and he posted on his page that Victor Osimhen should be punished and he should be benched going forward. And my opinion on that is this. I said I disagree for Victor Osimhen to be benched. That is my point. I'm not supporting what Victor Osimhen did in the field of play, because what he did totally was wrong. But let's not take that away. It's something we all know that strikers often do, most especially when they are looking to get that needed goals in order to move on. So if we take a look at that particular incident, it begins with Bruno Osimhen, who is actually a left back. Having had a successful drive towards the 18 box of the Mozambique, I think it is expected that what Bruno Osimhen ought to have done was to lay the pass to Victor Osimhen, who was actually standing alone, free. But Osimhen went on to actually make that attempt at goal, and he actually missed it. Here's the thought. Victor Osimhen reacted. His reaction is not out of place, because there are some top strikers also that normally do this. But then, the Super Eagles of Nigeria were already up by 3-0. And as such, I expected Victor Osimhen to have controlled his temper and calm down. He's a big name. Victor Osimhen is a big player. But I am not supporting his action in the field of play. But if we look at what Victor Osimhen was, if we look at the side of Victor Osimhen, what he actually won, this is a striker who is already on 2 goals. And as such, for every striker who have actually gotten a brace in a game, it is expected that they fight to get the hat-trick. That is what most players does. We have seen lots of strikers in this same position. They do get angry. Kylian Mbappe often do get angry. Vinny Jr., even though not a top striker, we often see his reaction. Even down to the point that even when the manager will substitute him, we saw his reaction, what he did to Xabi Alonso. And Xabi Alonso asked the manager, actually wiped that away when he was asked. I am not supporting indiscipline in this particular case, but what I saw in Victor Osimhen was the hunger to actually get the 3rd goal. If we take a look at how the competition have been going from the group stage, Victor Osimhen is one player that have been selfless for the Super Eagles up front. He has been doing everything possible to get the goals, but his presence there is a very strong effect for other players to actually get the job done. And that is what we have been seeing. The more reason we see the likes of Ako Adams and Ademola Lookman actually shining, because Victor Osimhen has been the center of focus for defenders. And as such, if Victor Osimhen distract those defenders, Ademola Lookman or Ako Adams will definitely cause the damage. Now, a game like this against Mozambique, Victor Osimhen have actually found a scoring boot, gotten a brace in this particular game. It's expected that he take advantage of this particular game because it is Mozambique. It is expected Victor Osimhen score as much goal as he needed to score. Because at this point in time, he feels he has not put himself in the position of going for the golden boot. Yes, he's a striker. So his reaction was not out of place, but he should learn to control his temperament and also learn to be calm with his teammates. They are all teammates, they are brothers and they are friends, even though they ply their trade in different clubs. We all know that Victor Osimhen, as a striker, is a big name in the world of football. You count 1 to 5 striker in the world, definitely you have to count Victor Osimhen. But my advice to Victor Osimhen, personally as a fan, I love him. As a Nigerian, I love him. And I want to see him succeed and continue to progress. But one thing I want him to learn how to do is to control his temper whenever he's in the field of play. So, what do you make of the Victor Osimhen situation? Do you think Victor Osimhen should be benched for the next game with that attitude, as one of my friends has actually described? Drop your thoughts down below. Because in my opinion, you can punish the players in several ways. You can punish him by not paying him his match allowance. You can punish him by actually fining him to pay some fine. And that is just nice. That is good. But in key competitions like this, and you definitely know that you need this player, not when we have actually gotten to a critical stage of this game, talking about the quarterfinal. Man, we need every leg that we need to have, be whatever it takes. So, like I said, just for emphasis, I don't support any form of indiscipline from any player. But then, the manager that I know, Eric Shell, will definitely be on top of the situation and manage it very, very well. So what do you make of the Victor Osimhen situation? Drop your thoughts down below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in my next video. Bye.